Welcome to a special edition of What the Music. Today I interview Leah, Liv and Connor about their thoughts and assimilations on this fantastic podcast series. Congratulations, you guys, on such an informative series.
Thank you so much.
We've heard from 5 fabulous local community practitioners who have taught us so much about the ethos and practicalities of running music events. My first question is to all of you, of the series, which moment sticks out to you as the most memorable and why?
So for me, I think the most memorable was when we spoke to Jenny Pearson. I really like that she worked with Only Boys Allowed, because a lot of the time, well, they're a choir to start off with. Yeah. A lot of the time you would see a lot of women in a choir, you wouldn't see as many males, and I like that it was a full male choir. I think it gives them more of an opportunity.
Yeah, I agree with you, Liv. Jenny was truly inspirational to all of us, but especially her involvement with the choir she conducted on S4C, which was raising an awareness for breast cancer. So widows came together to sing and do what they love to do. And this ended in the audience in tears, and it was very emotional for us all, I think. So I think that Jenny's involvement has just been truly inspirational to me personally.
I can agree. Talking to Jenny Pearson was really informative on how to start choirs, keep them running, and also get them onto GBT with Only Boys Allowed. But the choir to do with the breast cancer really, well, I thought it was really good to raise awareness in and do community music at the same time.
Yeah, she was brilliant to interview, and she's got such a wealth of experience, hasn't she? I don't think there's much she hasn't done in community music, so well done for getting her on board with the podcast. So, thinking about the whole series, what do you think the purpose of community music is? How do you think these benefit local communities? And can you give me some specific examples from what you've learned from the podcast series?
Firstly, I think that community music is a way of people expressing themselves, any age, any type of person, and it's not about judging or about who's the best. It's not a competition. It's just about everyone. It's all inclusive. It's about everyone enjoying themselves together and everyone enjoying each other's talent. I think that specific example for me was when Jenny Pearson conducted the choir on S4C for the women with breast cancer, because it brought sort of a community together of people who have all experienced the same thing, and it probably, although it was sad and emotional, it's probably also comforting because everyone in the audience all understood how everyone else felt.
Yeah, it brought together that community, didn't it? And they found support in each other.
For me, the purpose is letting people be who they want to be. And if you've not found your type of people or your clique, it's allowing people to come together to make the friends who are like them. So I can speak from personal experience of the school show. I'm involved both the coaching side and the student side of things, and I've met people through doing this show who I'd never have crossed paths with in life. And I know Mrs. Holmes said in her interview that it's great to see everyone getting together to become a close-knit show family, and it really is. I've made friends for life in that show who I never would have talked to or met because they're either younger than me or they're different, but it's a really fun experience in the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think community music brings a sense of, companionship between people from different backgrounds, classes, and even from different ways of life. And it's just a place where you can just leave all your problems at the door and just come and express yourself through music.
Immerse yourself in music, absolutely, yeah. Thanks, guys. What do you think, if you're going to run a community event, what do you think makes a successful community event?
So I think it has to be inclusive to everyone, and it's never about the talent, and you're not there to make other people think, oh, look what I can do and you can't do it. It's just everyone has to enjoy themselves, and it doesn't matter what age they are. I just think it's important that everyone gets a chance to do it, and you shouldn't not be allowed to do something just because you're not as good.
Yeah, that all inclusivity, yeah.
Well, the first thing that comes into my mind is passion. You can't do something successfully if you're not enjoying what you're doing first.
Yeah.
Being successful comes from that drive and that determination that you've got inside. So if I absolutely hated singing but wanted to set up a fundraiser for a choir, it wouldn't work because I don't enjoy what they're doing. And adaptability is key for a community event because you're going to have people who have come from different backgrounds, different classes, and being able to cater to everybody and allowing people to be like, I can't do this, but I can do it by the end, and sort of having your own journey in that aspect. But yeah, catering to everyone is like a huge thing, and being able to adapt different things for different people.
Yeah, you made a really good point there. Like, you know what the end goal is.
Yeah.
But being able to find lots of different ways to get to that end goal, isn't it? To include everybody.
Yeah, it's about your own journey and
Yeah.
how where you start and you end, not as a whole.
Yeah.
It's your own sort of
Yeah.
journey.
It doesn't matter how you get there,
Yeah.
as long as you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Connor?
I feel like that having a successful community event is, well, you need to not be judgmental with the people that arrive, because they've come to your event, so you shouldn't be judging them on how they perform. Just try and like edge them on and push them a bit further so they can like increase their ability to either sing or play an instrument.
Yeah. Build their confidence. Yeah. Doesn't matter where your starting point is, but
Yeah.
brilliant. Thanks. So if you were going to run a community event after leaving school, how would you approach it? And I'm sort of talking more about the logistics here and the organisation of it. So how would you approach starting up a community event, getting your people on board, and what would your priorities be when running it?
For me, I think I would run a community event for younger children, because a lot of younger children don't get access to musical instruments or the chance to sing. And a lot of young children nowadays, you don't realise how many are carers and things like that. And I think bringing all children together, it gives them a break from that, and they get to express themselves. And then obviously they might not know if they enjoy music, and they might find a real love for it.
Yeah.
And they get to socialise and find other people that were like them. And I think that'd be important to work with children in a community event.
That's really uplifting and nice to hear. Leah?
Planning. Huge part of organising an event. If you're not organised and you've not planned for every possibility that is going to happen during your event, then it's not ready. You're going to be thrown into the deep end, basically. And you need that organisation and that planning to make sure everything is correct and everything is going to run smoothly. But also using your contacts and advantagement. We meet so many people in our lives from so many different backgrounds and different experiences. So having them come to your event is not only going to help with the interesting side and the people being able to relate to other people, but also spreading the word about your event, and the population of your event will become huge if you use your contacts to an advantagement.
Yeah. Brilliant. Connor?
If I was to run a community event after leaving school, I'd really love to make a orchestra from like all ways of life, any age. And I know setting up an orchestra it takes a lot of planning, a lot of organisation, and if you don't have that setting up in a community event, like Leah said, it just won't go at all to plan.
Yeah.
You need a lot of personnel as well, one person to run a whole orchestra with teaching young people to play all the different instruments. Like Leah said, use your contacts and get people in to tutor different instruments and things like that. Interesting. So what do you think the pitfalls are? What are you going to try and avoid? Because there are some, definitely.
I definitely wouldn't, if, for example, there was someone else running a community event that was similar to mine in Flint, I definitely wouldn't run one alongside of theirs, because both events are probably going to have less people and it may not work. And I think it makes it more into a competition.
Yeah.
Doing like similar ones, or even not necessarily on the same day but a similar time. No one's going to want to go to two of the same events.
Yeah.
Yeah, just speaking off what Liv said, if you run something alongside someone else, it sort of loses that aim of community music, because you want everybody to be able to do everything anytime. And if you're running two things at once, it comes more like a competition, like Liv said, but I feel like it just loses the aim. But also advertising it as like, you need to be able to you're going to do this, I feel like that would be something I'd avoid. It's like, come and do this. You can do this if you'd like. It's sort of allowing them to have that expressiveness of it and being able to let them do everything that you have to offer. So not being as specific, so sort of saying, we've got this on offer, we've got this, and it just allows people to do what they want to do in that aspect.
And to experience it in their own way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, lovely. Connor?
I think you should try and make your community event unique as so if people come in, they're having a unique experience that they'll only experience when they go to your community event and no other. And with advertisement, always be open to suggestions. Don't just do, you can do this, you can do that. You can suggest what you would like to do. And if we have the resources, then you can go and experiment.
Yeah. Fabulous, thank you. So, personal qualities, you need plenty of them to be in this field of work. What do you think are the important personal qualities for running an event?
I definitely think you have to go in with an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always know everything. I think you can always learn something from somebody else. You definitely have to be spontaneous, because if you're working with younger children, they're probably gonna they might not always do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
Just be confident, don't be shy. You gotta lift everyone up and make everyone feel excited. If you're all quiet in the corner, no one's gonna want
to join in. Yeah.
Being level-headed, you're gonna have so much to juggle at once when you're running an event, and if anything goes wrong, it's kind of gonna fall back on you. So being able to keep your cool and have that, like, I'm just gonna take 5 minutes just to breathe. It comes with leadership, and especially when you're leading an event, that's what you want, and you need someone to just be like, right, this is gonna be okay. It's all gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds cheesy, but just being kind is an amazing quality to have. Kindness goes a long way for a lot of people, and even if there's lots of things happening, just be kind to somebody, and you never know, they could come back and ask you if you need any help and volunteer with your other events if you want to do them. So kindness goes a long way, I think.
Yeah, I think our second podcast was with Miss Holmes, and she was discussing the show, and I think those are the two qualities that absolutely shone through that podcast. Definitely. In the way that she directs the show. It's kindness, and it's very level-headed and very calm.
Definitely kindness and very like, it's okay, it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Connor, what do you think?
I definitely agree with Leah with the kindness that you have to show people, because they might not be having a nice day. They might be reckless when they might not do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
But always try and be kind to them, and always give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't want to come back.
Come back, yeah. So one of my most memorable moments was when we were discussing with Alid and Emily about music being accessible to all. What does that mean to you, and how would you ensure that your event is inclusive? I know we have discussed this a lot through the other questions, but is there anything you'd like to add?
So obviously I mentioned before, you can't be judgmental, and you got to let everyone have a go, and everyone show their different types of talent. I think it is okay if you want to show off your talent, if you're really good at something and you want to show off your talent, but maybe not a community event isn't necessarily the right thing for you.
Yeah.
Or but then it might be. So you may show off your talent and think, I'm really good, but then praise other people as well. Even if they're not as good, you still give them praise, And it's a way of just sharing something together that you all enjoy.
I think it's amazing that Alid and Emily have made music accessible to all people. It makes me happy that children from lower class backgrounds or with people with less money can now learn to play an instrument. Studies have actually shown that music can enhance brain function and can strengthen your brain structure. So if that's playing music, singing, listening to music. And Alid and Emily made a huge impact on me when they came to do the podcast. I don't think I've actually ever been so invested in what someone's saying. It makes me really inspired by them, because they really just want the best for people.
Yeah, their aim is definitely to make music accessible for all in Flintshire, and it's an uphill battle, isn't it? But that is what they're working towards, and it's nice to hear that from from, you know, people that are in that position where they have the ability
Yeah.
to offer a music service to.
I just think like events shouldn't be based on class
No.
or talent or level or anything, because you do just want to play music at the end of the day, and it doesn't matter if you have never touched a guitar in your life or you can play it in your sleep. It doesn't matter, as long as you are coming together to do what you love and what you enjoy. I think that's the main goal of everything to do with community music.
Yeah. Connor?
I feel like when you've got a range of people coming from all different backgrounds, many of them probably haven't played a musical instrument. I think that if you're making a community event, bring as many instruments, different types of instruments you can, and let them try and see what they like. And if they find something they have a passion for, then push them forward to learn more and become great.
Yeah. That is brilliant. Guys, thank you so much for your critical judgments on the podcast series. And thank you for finding out, you know, all about our guests and writing some really probing questions to teach us all about community music. That's it for this week. Thanks very much.